y'all check your notes. Go if you need to go to a fresh page. So we're going to look at there's actually three main scenarios. First one we're looking at is this one, when trinomials have a value of 1. So in my notes, I title it this, factoring, and maybe a subnote, trinomials when a is equal to 1. That's how I would title my note. So rule number 1, it's even got a little start up here. When you're factoring, the first thing you do right out of the gate is look for a GCF. That is without exception. You do that every time. So we'll probably use these first three right here, 5, 7, and 9. We'll use those as examples, and I'll turn you loose and let you try some. And we'll just kind of go back and forth. All right, so here's the gist. So with the when we was doing the warm-up a second ago with the foiling, we foiled these two binomials out, and we got a trinomial. Agreed? Yes. Because that's on warm-up, right? So we're doing that process in reverse. So in other words, I'm giving you the trinomial, and I want you to tell me what the two binomials are. Okay, that's the idea. So here's what we're going to do. I'll go ahead and put a little X right on the problem. And mark it and just go on to do something else, right? We're going to put the 45 right here on the top and the 14 on the bottom. Does this look vaguely familiar from 9th grade, maybe? No. That's okay. If it don't, that's all right. That's okay. That's fine. So here's the idea. I'm looking for two numbers that when I multiply them, so when I multiply them, I'm going to get 45. But at the same time, those numbers have to add to get me the 14. Yeah. So a couple of ways. Now, if you got a good command of your multiplication facts, you probably can do it in your head. But say you've got really big numbers, like maybe that number's like 270 or something, you know. Here's what I do. Make a little T-chart. So 45, I'll start with 1 and 45 and just go down the list. What are some other numbers that multiply and give me 45? Huh? 9 and 5. Is there anything else in between? 15 and 3? Okay, can y'all think of anything else? I mean, we could say 9 and 5. We could turn it around, right? But we're still saying the same thing. I think that about gets it, don't it? So which sets of these add? There you go. So the rest of them don't work, right? You're done. Did she show you the little X method? Do you remember if it was that? Or maybe she showed a little bit different approach, but the same idea. Butterfly. Yeah, we got some butterfly. Oh, okay. You do the butterfly. See, Michael knows what I'm talking about. Like he's like, why is he talking about butterflies? No. So it's just a different method, but the end game is the same, right? Same thing. So think about this. Earlier, I gave you these, like the two binomials, and you got a trinomial when you fold it out. So watch what happens.
Will it always be the C that goes on top and you use like your X method?
That's right. So you get the same thing you started with, right? So that's how you can check yourself, and you can always be right. Theoretically, it's impossible to miss these. But over the years, people have debunked that. All right, so let's take a look at number 7. Let's write this as an example. So, what's my first step? Yes, I always check for that grace constant. Does it have one? 1, 2, and 48. Remember all three terms, right? Okay, so it doesn't have one. So checklist in our head is that's marked. Now make sure you put the sign of the number. I didn't do that on the previous one because they was both positive, but I'll make up for that now. So the negative 48 and a positive 2. So what do y'all think?
It's gonna be like
-6 and 8 will give you 48.
Okay, so 6 times 8 is 48. Okay, can we make that work with a sign or something?
Yeah.
Negative 6 plus 8?
right.
Yeah.
Very good. Because that'll add and give me 2. Multiply and give me that. So, well, meant to put C, right? It's not too bad, is it? Kind of, Okay. Now, I said we was going to do 9. 9's just an easy one. So let me jump down to 11 here. So on number 11, what's rule number 1? Greatest common factor. So does it have 1?
Yes.
So here's how I'm going to handle that. I'm not going to just throw the 2 away. I'm just going to, for a moment though, just kind of block it out of my mind, and I'll just deal with it later. This is my focus point. All right, so multiplies gives me negative 20, adds to give me negative 8.
4, 20, 8.
Okay, so 5 and 4 won't work. What other options have we got?
2 and 10.
2 and 10? Now 4 and 8 will give you 32. But 2 and 10?
Negative 10 and 2.
Negative 10 and 2? Okay, so that gives me negative 8, multiplies gives me negative 20. So before I circle it and I move on, that 2 that I pulled out earlier, just make sure you buddy it up with the parentheses right there. Now you're done. Gander at them. So, for the sake of those who are still learning, I'll go through the whole X thing. So here's 26, negative 15. So they multiply to give me 26. Add to give me negative 15. Is it frozen? Oh. Well, maybe I need to unfreeze that screen. My bad. All right, so what y'all come up with? What are my 2 numbers?
13 and 2.
13 and 2? All right.
Wait a minute.
It's negative, not positive.
They both got to be negative. So let me give you a little tricks of the trade here. So here's what I do. If I'm ever unsure about my factors, I'll list everything I can possibly think of, and I'm going to show you another little handy dandy thing here. So I start 126, 213. Can y'all think of anything else? Is that about it?
Yeah.
That was easy, wasn't it? But now here's the next thing. So we know those multiply and give me 26. So if you look at your trinomial, you know they have to multiply to give you a positive 26. So if we go back to our basic algebra signs, listen, that means one of 2 things. That either means both numbers are positive or both numbers are negative.
They're both negative.
Yes, I know that, but I want to go through the process here. Here's how you tell. Look at your middle term. They have to add and give me this, right?
Yes.
So that means they both got to be negative. So
That's where we messed up, because we figured that out, but then I did 13 minus 2, and that didn't get it right.
oh, it's going to be negative 30. Yeah.
You can't do it.
Okay? I know you're on camera, right?
Huh?
All right, so the next one. Negative 72 and a negative 1. What y'all come up with? Negative 8 and 9. So yeah, if we knew our And negative 9.
Positive 8 and negative 9.
Because it's got to be a negative 1, doesn't it?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So you got to watch those signs. Okay? Negative 8 and positive 9. So negative 8 plus 9, would that give me negative 1?
Yes. No. I'm just kidding. It'd give you 1.
It'd give you positive 1, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I need it to be negative 1.
Yeah, so it'd be 8. What? 8 minus 9.
Right. So,
I can't math right now. No, I can't talk.
alright, so that would be your answer. So with this right here, here's another little hint. Give your card. Alright, give me just a second. So, if your last number is a negative, that tells you that either one or the other number is going to be negative, and the other one will be positive. Okay? So there's little tricks that the more you do these, they'll kind of help steer your thinking. And you can tell which one will be negative. So you got a bigger number and a smaller number, right? If that's negative and that's negative, that means that the bigger number is going to be the negative. If that's negative and that's positive, that means the bigger number will be positive. It'll take a second, but before long you'll be going, oh yeah, duh. It'll be easy. Say it again, I'm sorry. Hmm? All right, so this would be a hard one. What'd y'all get? That was rough, wasn't it? Hey, put a star next to this, and yeah, I was going to bring that to light there. You see how they're both literally the same thing?
N minus 1 squared.
Yeah. You can write it like that too. All right, so your number 12.
I finished.
Got to pull a 5 out to begin with.
So what's on both sides of the deck?
Yep.
Okay, so we're not done here. We've just got it whittled down a little bit to where we can work with it a little bit easier. This is what I worry about factoring. So multiplies to give me 6, adds to give me a negative 5. There you go. So your factors is 5, z minus 3, z minus 2.
Yes. I simplified it without even having to simplify it.
Before long, you'll get to where you can. You will. How'd y'all do?
Did good.
Got them all right?
Did really good.
Good. So X method, you feel like if I gave you a test on these, you could hold your own? Huh?
I'd get a 10 out of 10.
All right. Okay. Let's look at another scenario here. So same note page, you ain't got to change nothing, but put another subtitle. Factoring trinomials when a is greater than 1. Y'all, listen. It can, but I'd actually factor out a negative and all that. But
Greater than 1?
yeah, when the a value is greater than 1.
Can I just like do a greater than sign?
Yeah, just like that. So this one, we're going to be able to use what we just did. There's just a little work at the front end that I have to do first. Hey, double check. Is that still recording? I just want to make sure I didn't hit the button by accident. It is? Okay. So rule 1 still applies here. Does it have a GCF?
No.
No GCF. Okay, so always checking that first. Here's where you got to pay attention. So your step 1 here is I'm going to take my A value and I'm going to multiply it into my C value. You should be writing if you're not. So to multiply the A and the C. Okay. Now, just as a foreshadow, You can't just randomly start multiplying by things in math just for the heck of it. You can't do that. I have to account for that somewhere because there's a balance to mathematics. So at some point, so if I multiply by 2, what do you reckon I'm going to have to do to balance it out?
Divide by 2.
Divide by 2, right. So somewhere that's going to happen. Just the question's where. So I'm going to so my step 2, I'm going to rewrite the function. So it's going to look like this. X squared minus 15x plus 36. Okay. From here, I can actually do the x method. So from here, step 3. So that's just like what we were doing before, right? So I'll do that in blue. I think it's blue. We'll go with it. So 2 numbers that'll multiply and give me 36, but at the same time will give me a negative 15.
Negative 13,
Well, that'd be a negative 26. You just got to multiply and give me negative. I'm sorry, you got to multiply and give me 36, but add and give me negative 15. Negative 18. Oh, okay. Negative 18.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Is
Wait
that-
a minute. Negative 2 minus negative 18 is negative 4. It's not going to work.
Okay, so that's not working, is it?
No, it's not going to work.
Okay, so that's not going to work. All right, so in a case like this, here's what I do. I make a T-chart.
It's negative 13, negative 3, negative 12.
I think it's 4 and 9.
4 and 9.
Yep.
All right, okay. If I add 4 and 9, what do I get?
14.
It's close though, ain't it? So that's not working.
Negative 3, negative
3 and 12, but make them both negative.
Yes, sir.
All right. So again, I'll just reiterate this right here, guys.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know, right? This right here, if you get lost in all your factors, like what's going to work, do something like this, and it'll give you a little bit of a visualization.
That's crazy.
I know, right? All right, so I'm going to write so step 3 this is all kind of one step here, what I'm about to write, so this is actually part of that X method, so. Now, step 4. Step 4 is where I've got to make up for that multiplying that I did.
Is what you just wrote part of step 3 or 4?
Part of step 3, yeah. This all is a part of the X method thing. This is usually where a lot of students in the past, they will stop. They'll like circle that and say they're done.
Yeah.
But if you foil this out, you're going to find out real quick, this does not give you the original equation or function. Yeah, you got to finish the process is what I'm getting at. So that, just in red. I'm going to divide both terms by that A. So
And this is what you got to do when you go to GCF?
well, this is when the A value is bigger than 1. This is the process you have to go through. There's actually about 3 or 4 different ways. But I did not want to muddy the waters. Okay, now you would have taken the GCF out at the very beginning. So that GCF, you wouldn't ever touch it again until you're circling the answer and you're done. So if something like that happens, you pull it out first. Here's the final thing. Simplify. So I'm going to put step 5. I'm going to make it. It's really 2 things. I'm going to make it 1. Simplify and rewrite. So here's what I mean by that. I look at the 3 over 2. Can I reduce those 2 numbers? No. Look at the 12 halves.
Be 6.
Be 6.
Then you just add a 2 to the outside.
Not outside, no. So
Oh, you
this.
just add it to the first x.
So yeah, this 2 right here. we're going to move it right in front of that X, right there. And it's going to look like this.
I got that down.
What?
Now,
Oh.
this 12 divided by 2.
So if it doesn't divide out into like a whole number, you've got to put it in front of that.
Yeah. Now, there's a mathematical reason for this, but just for the moment, because this is a god-awful amount of stuff, I'll come back and maybe, well, I'll see you again Friday. I'll come back and show you why this works, because I don't want to just show you something for the heck of it. I want you to understand why. Okay. So from here, this is done. That's it. Okay. So let's do one to get more together, and then I'll turn you loose. Let you try some at your table. Okay?
Do I have to?
Yes.
But I already know how to do this.
Good.
This is easy.
All right. So 14. Do I have a GCF?
No, you don't.
No.
So you got to divide 48 by 5.
No.
No, not divide. Multiply.
You multiply 5
That's what I meant.
48.
All right. So y'all got a calculator. 5 and 48. What do you get?
240. Oh.
Y'all agree?
Yes. 240. Negative 240.
I thought you were
What?
supposed to put
What
negative
is he-
48 times,
what is
oh,
he-
put 2, sorry.
5 times
I know I'm right though. All right. So p squared plus 22p minus 240. All right, so this might take you a minute, and I'm going to let you kind of take the reins on this one. Find the factors that multiply. It gives me negative 240, but they'll add and give me 22.
What is that? Is that a P?
Is that supposed to be a 9?
Where?
9's a bear.
Oh, no, it's a P. It's a P.
Just look.
It's a P.
That's a crazy.
But if you want me to rewrite,
Rewrite
I'll-
the P.
All right, there you go. So go find the two factors. Multiplies, give me negative 240, but they add and give me 22. I really don't remember what the answer is, to be honest with you. Y'all found it? All right, y'all may be working. Find something. Joe, did you get it?
Oh, I got it.
All right,
Joey,
now I need
can
to go
you
buy
catch?
one. Don't share it yet. Don't share it yet. I want to see if they can figure it out.
Okay, so
Y'all got it?
I have to do that. So
Remember, make your little T chart if you have to. Start at 1 and 240, and your list might be a little big. That's okay.
I see.
I did it.
Good job. Very good job.
I'm not as stupid as people.
I never said you were, man.
I know.
You get it? Does it matter right now? Or do you have the answer? Yep. Do you have the answer right now? Well, get your head up. Get to thinking. You can do basic multiplication. You can figure this out. This is not beyond your ability.
Hello, neighbor. How are you?
You got it too?
Yeah.
We got it too.
Michael, did you get it, man?
We got it.
Still tinkering with it? Okay. Did you get it?
Yeah, I know. I can only get 240. If you listen to Daniel Tiger and Commissioner Rogers, it's the same exact song.
And y'all are still on camera, right?
Oh, I'm dumb.
Stop talking. Emma, do you have any luck? Are y'all's table? Y'all have any luck yet? My back table. Have y'all had any luck? All right, so we don't get too bogged down. Billy, what is it?
Simplified or not simplified?
No, just the two factors. That's all I'm wanting.
Okay, 8 and negative 30.
Wait. 8 and negative 30?
It's actually 30 and negative 8.
30 and negative 8. Because it's got to be a positive 22, right?
Oh, yeah.
But hey, we can't dog him too because he figured out 8 and 30. So I mean, we can't dog him. All right, so. All right, now what's my next step?
Divide negative 8 and 30 by 5.
Divide by the 5, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's going to be like...
So 8 over 5. What's your hands in your pockets? You got work to do. 8 divided by 5. Will that come to an even number?
Yes, it'll be 6. It'll be 6.
8 divided by 5 is an even number?
It's a 30.
No. So is it reduced at least?
No. So you... Wait.
8 over 5, is this reduced as low as it can go?
That's the lowest I can go.
Yes.
It's reduced, yes, because there's nothing that goes into 8 and 5, right? Other than 1, of course. All right, so I can rewrite that as...
5.
Yeah. All right, now 30 over 5.
It'll be 6.
Yeah, that goes down. Now, hey, just as a heads up, don't get locked into this mindset that one of them's going to be weird like this and one of them's going to be a whole number. That does not always happen. Sometimes they both end up getting written kind of like this. That's okay. Don't freak out. Just make sure, the big thing is, make sure they're reduced first, then rewrite. Okay? Yeah.
Is it okay if they're like flipped?
Oh, like if this was right here and this was right here? Well, that's fine. Yeah, it don't matter. All right? A lot of stuff, ain't it? That's okay, though.
Honestly,
That's all right.
man.
All right, so